In India, there's a myth about cancer. छूने से फैलता है. अगर बता दिया तो नाम बिगड़ेगा.
Women who are a very important pillar in our society, that they need to be protected.
बहन नहीं है हमें, वो खुल के नहीं बोल सकती है. So मैं उनके थोड़ा क्लोज हूँ, वो मुझे ही बोलती है सब कुछ.
Earlier you catch cancer and you fight it. I think it's a much better thing to do than to detect it later.
Cancer should not be a death sentence. It should just be a disease that we can manage.
माझे नाव राधाकृष्ण बोर्डेकर. हांव मोल्ल्या कॉलनीत रावता आनी माझे चेडे 3 जाण. दोगांचें लग्न जाला, 2 सुनी आहा, 2 नातू आसा. मागीर अशें हांगा इस्कॉलात कॅम्प येयल्लो, ते सगळ्या बायलांक आपयल्ले महिला मंडळाच्या. हांव बी गेले, दोतोरान तपासले जाल्यार म्हाका मागीर पयलीं मातशें लागतलें, दुकान आसलें तें. आनी मागीर सकयल देंवले आनी मातशें वाडोंक लागले ते. तपासलो मागीर एका म्हयन्याचो जास्त जाले. परत कॅम्प येयलो, तेन्ना आमकां ताबडतोब बांबोळे धाडले. पयलीं हांगा गूड येयल्ले म्हाका आनी ते पयलीं दुकान आसलें. आनी मागीर आस्ते आस्ते सकयल जेन्ना देवं लागले तेन्ना अशें हात बसलो, काम करतना अशें दुखो लागले.
The incidence of breast cancer is rising in the world, and screening is important because if you catch the breast cancer at stage 1 or before stage 1 or stage 2, the survival rates are 90% plus.
And that realization that women in India have a shot of surviving cancer like 1 out of 2, when women in US can survive it like 9 out of 10.
So I think the right question to ask is what makes a technology or a screening test a success in the environment it's being used in? And I think that's the question that really needs to get answered.
We are at a point where we are able to say that eye breast exam is more effective than mammogram. Cancer should not be a death sentence. It should just be a disease that we can manage. You have won the battle on fear side already. Then it's just the mechanics. Right out of school, I pursued entrepreneurship, and very soon it turned towards medtech. Worked in several projects of medtech from University of Pennsylvania. So these are 2 Philadelphia schools. It's an urban area of some 7-10 blocks, and lots of innovation and R&D happening because Philly also has 3 hospitals. So that really fosters an environment for medtech. And so got a lot of good experience, and early on was able to see the value of innovation and computing for improvement in health. It allows you to make some sort of a jump. So I saw that in cancer in 2007. So scene is, so I'm getting married Jan 15th, and you realize that your mother-in-law is wearing a wig, and that's because she's going through cancer treatment. And that played a big role in my ultimately kind of landing on and realizing cancer.
डर नहीं था, छोटा सा नॉट था, उसके लिए ही ऑपरेशन करानी थी. तो ऑपरेशन हो गई, उसके बाद मालूम पड़ा कि कैंसर है. फिर पॉजिटिव ही रही मैं. काफ़ी लेडीज़ को इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए और अपने ही बलबूते पे पॉजिटिव रहें.
So Bhaumik and me is Haila Uima together, okay? It's like me Haila, him saying Uima. So I was saying that the team building actually started some 45 years ago because Bhaumik and I are cousins and have done all our projects together in life. Our entire career has been together since college. I was in Drexel, Bhaumik was here in Mumbai. And we both jumped into medtech together and eventually into breast cancer and all that.
I'm 1 year younger to Mihir. वैसे तो we are cousin, but we are like real brothers. बहुत मस्ती की है childhood में, बहुत मस्ती. But we were very close. And after I did my law, I practiced law. I actually did internship for 6 months. And in those 6 months, I was not feeling right, not being productive, for the society, for the community. And that's when Mihir, he was in US and he told me that I'm starting with a company and which idea is to bring, technology, healthcare technology from US to India. And that's what struck me, this is what I want to do, which will be impactful. And then we got multiple products bringing in, or, eye breast exam. We worked on multiple devices, and I would not say failures, but we had a lot of experience. And slowly, we gradually got understanding of the business, the need, the requirement, and that's how it all started.
So actually meeting me here was a very interesting story. At the time, I was working in Long Island. That's where I was born and raised in New York. And I had been working on some breast cancer device to help my wife, find breast cancer early because she had an issue with breast cancer. And I remember at the time we received a phone call. Mihir had called the office and out of the blue, and was interested in, seeing the device that we were working on. What was interesting is maybe a day or two later, if I'm not mistaken, I think he drove down from Philadelphia and came to my office and knocked on the door and, introduced himself. He had this idea of bringing this device to the developing world, where he was working on med tech devices and things like that. And had this whole other, plan for a breast cancer screening device. We met, and everything from that point forward, we decided to get together, start a company. We learned very quickly on the job that there are certain requirements and constraints that we had to adhere to. Started working on device.
So Bhaumik and I were in Rajasthan, in Jaipur, talking to the National Health Mission, saying how amazing this technology is that can do early detection of breast cancer. So some smart person in the room asked a very valid question: what kind of sensor technology does it use? And they misunderstood that as ultrasound. So literally half an hour later, Bhaumik had eye breast exam on the tummy of a pregnant woman, all confused. What the heck are you guys doing? And the doctor is saying, तो कहाँ दिखेगा बच्चा कहाँ है? I said, sir, नहीं दिखेगा. So those kinds of things make you understand that there is an inherent lack of awareness, not at the patient level, not at the system level, not at the clinical level. It's much more holistic, and this is going to be a little bit more challenging than you thought it was going to be.
Eye breast exam is so portable that it can go to a woman's house and get screened at her place. And we have done this in a lot of places, in Anand district, in Maharashtra, in many other states.
I got to know of the iBreast device through a friend of mine, and he introduced me to Mihir, and we had a meeting with him. And then, understanding what this device meant and how it worked. So we urged the presidents to hold camps within their specific areas and have women come in and get themselves examined because of this. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007 for the first time. That was because of self-examination. However, after her treatments and the treatments which went through and her regular yearly checkups, You know, after COVID, the doctor who was treating her also retired because of old age. And she would keep pushing back her mammos because of the pain and the radiation which she would go through. And when we held the first camp by UE LifeSciences in February 2024 on the World Cancer Day, luckily she was again detected before the first stage, which helped, you know, getting a treatment quickly, and the results were very good.
जब उन्हें दर्द होने लगा तब यहाँ पे एक कैंप आया था हमारा स्कूल में जाकर यहाँ से 10 मिनट की दूरी है। हम जब वहाँ गए थे तब यूवी ब्रेस्ट स्क्रीनिंग का कैंप लगा था वहाँ पे। तो उन्होंने चेक किया, वो तुरंत वहाँ से आगे ट्रीटमेंट लेने को बोला उन्होंने। 4-5 दिन के बाद हमने आगे GMC गोवा मेडिकल कॉलेज है हमारा, वहाँ पे हमने चेक किया। तो वहाँ उन्होंने पहले बायोप्सी की। बायोप्सी में पता चला कि 100% वही कैंसर ही है, और कैंसर में वही बोला कि अभी उसी दिन एडमिट करते हैं उनको और आगे का ट्रीटमेंट चालू करते हैं वहाँ से। वो हमारा क्या हुआ था, अभी बहन नहीं है हमें, वो खुल के नहीं बोल सकती है कि ऐसा ऐसा है, दिखाएंगे कुछ हमें। सो मैं उनके थोड़ा क्लोज हूँ, वो मुझे ही बोलती है सब कुछ। गार्ड थी, ऐसा ऐसा है, ट्रीटमेंट आगे लेना है, और उसी दिन हमने उससे स्टार्ट किया और ट्रीटमेंट लेके अभी वो अच्छी है। अभी खुश है, बहुत खुश है, क्योंकि उन्हें नहीं पता था कि अब यहाँ से बाहर कैसे निकलेंगे। सो थैंक्स टू यू ब्रेस्ट स्क्रीनिंग के उन्होंने यहाँ पे आके कैंप लगा के अभी कुछ पता चला हमें डायरेक्ट, नहीं तो ऐसे बैठते तो आगे कुछ हो सकता, कुछ बोल नहीं सकते थे।
We've seen women accept an innovation because it empowers them. Be it housewives, be it corporate working women, be it educated versus non-educated, rural versus urban. We have seen everywhere that iBreast has the innovation potential to not only detect that cancer but not to scare them either while doing that. That iBreast exam is more effective than mammogram because you have to look at the problem holistically. It's not just about sensitivity and specificity of microcalcification identification. It's about improving survival rates. Are you finding cancers that kill women early? It's that. Can you make that happen affordably and culturally acceptably? It's that. Are you an optimal solution for the problem the way it exists and the barriers and context of the society?
I realized that what I'm doing in UE LifeSciences with iBreast exam, I'm in the right track. And that was the incident when I was in Gadchiroli and we were doing screening. But I did screening of 160-year-old lady. And after the test, she came and she put her hand on my head and gave a blessing. And I said, we are in the right track.
कॅम्पाक गेले, थंय म्हाका गार्ड मेळ्ळी. तेंच्यांनी तपासले, आसा हेका हे म्हणून सांगले तेंच्यांनी. मागीर हांव भायर येयलें. ट्रीटमेंट जातकच मातशें भियेलें न्हू. भियेलें मातशें. म्हाकाच मेळ्ळें म्हणटकच. पण आमची एक नर्सी आसली ती म्हाका सांगलें तूं भियेनाका बांबळे चल म्हणून. हांव बेगीन काडून घे म्हणून.
UE LifeSciences is like my life. It is my life. You know, I've been doing it for past 16 years. You know, and that's what I've been doing.
Women are the strength of any family or any house in our country. With more than 50% of the population of women in our country, I thought this is a great service to them and we need to save lives. And that's the most important initiative of the state government of Goa.
So government and NGO partnership, they are very crucial. Their collaboration will amplify the impact of device like iBreast exam. It will reach to the rural area. It will help making early detection possible. Those partnerships we have seen in state like Goa, in Goa project, Swasth Mahila Swasth Goa project, and you can see how successful that entire project has been.
Goa is the first state that has holistically embraced iBreast exam and is benefiting from it. Imagine a health minister of India calling you, saying, hey, I'm looking for you. I think your innovation will be helpful in my state. Mr. Rane, as we all respectfully say in India, you know, Shri Rane ji, really made it possible for an innovation to scale for the betterment of the people.
somebody shared an article in the New York Times about eye breast. I read about it, then I touched base with Mir in New York. Then I said we must meet for a coffee, and that's when we decided, sitting down on a cup of coffee in New York, is that we must do something. And using this type of a startup company coming with a great initiative like iBreast, why don't we try to use Goa as a state and make it a model in the country, how to move forward and to see that we are able to save lives of women. I was shown the gadget, and then we realized that it's not exactly like a mammogram. Actually, it was basically imaging, and through that we were able to exactly dissect exactly what is actually required. I mean, what needs to be done. Everybody doesn't have to go and do a mammogram, but then if you want to do a mass scale screening, then if you are doing a mass scale screening, then you need to have this type of a device. And this type of a device without any kind of pain, and you can train any of your staff at the PHC, CHC level along with the technical support from iBreast, and taking this initiative forward in the state of Goa. Today in the state of Goa, we have already initiated and completed 1 lakh women. And what we have decided is not only stopping at 1 lakh women, which I am going to initiate and have a separate MOU signed now with iBreast, because we want to make Goa not a one-time screening center, but we want to keep screening the women so that we do not allow them to come close to the disease called breast cancer. Swasth Mahila and Swasth Goa is the main slogan around which we are working.
So we have an announcement to make, and this announcement is, Gauri will make this announcement.
This is called Raksha, which is going to be a Rashtriya Karkarog Suraksha Abhiyan, an early detection and access to every person of this country.
So our impact footprint so far is that we've reached over 1 million women around the world in 12 countries. We have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is now an innovation that can become the global gold standard for screening of the #1 cancer in the world. So pharma companies and medtech companies and local hospitals in cities are becoming friends of ours, and we are bringing Think Pink and other initiatives, Raksha initiatives to bear, which will truly transform access both in public and private health. This is going to be valuable to women in a small gaon and a women in a big city anywhere in the world.